look in the eyes of my brother without shedding a tear for my brother. I really wanna try for my brother.
Yo, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? We want to thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of the InforMILLy podcast. This is a special episode in a series that we're starting called The Audio Files, Vol.1, right? So what this is we gave each other each 6 albums to listen to. And we're going to compare those albums, and we asked each other, like, yo, of the 6 albums I gave, which 2 resonate with you most? The beautiful thing about this is it helped us learn about each other in another way by music preferences and how music was moving us personally and sharing that with each other. But it's a long conversation, and Adam did some beautiful video work. So I want to direct you, or we want to direct you. Okay. We want to direct you to go over to YouTube and watch it on the InforMILLy podcast YouTube page. Find the link somewhere that's probably not on the screen. But so you're listening to this on the audio. If you're not, oh well. If you're already on the YouTube page, welcome. You're going to get quite the treat. It's going to be Sports Center, but music and all Negroes, right? And so
the NFL portion,
the NFL
portion of ESPN for NBA.
So by all means, we encourage you to watch the YouTube, but if you just want to listen, that's fine too. But we're telling you that the experience of this episode is going to be epitomized if you watch it. So here's how you can do both. You can always work on your synchronization skills. Go to the YouTube page, mute that motherfucker, and then play the audio on your favorite podcast website. Then we get both. We get the views, we get the listens, we get that support, and we appreciate you for it.
And DP.
And in case anybody was wondering, Maren Morris is not popular in this podcast. So if you do have any country/pop songs, feel free to email me directly.
Like I said, we got to learn about each other. So enjoy this episode of the Audio Files Volume 1, and thank you for tuning in.
Enjoy.
But yeah, so podcast listeners, we challenged each other. That sounded hardy.
Nah, I kicked my little setup, man.
Oh damn. We challenged each other. We gonna lighten this up a bit. And by light, I mean wait, not light as in bright, because blackness is everything. We're gonna lighten this up a bit. We challenged each other. We gave each other. This was born out of a meme saying, out of these 6 music albums, if you had a 3-hour road trip, which 2 could you listen to for the whole 3 hours? And we were like, yo, that's a good concept. Fuck that. Let's make this better. We all gonna suggest 6 albums to each other that resonate most with us.
And I would not recommend 18 albums for ever again for anybody else, by the way.
Yeah. This was so fucking
difficult. 24 songs. God damn.
Yo, you suggested Chance's last album, which is 32 songs.
Bro, last night
I take full responsibility.
I'm like, when will it end, man?
If I hear I love my wife one more goddamn time.
Like for me,
sorry, go ahead.
I didn't mind. I didn't mind the 18 albums. I just think we should give more time. Like, not a week.
Future reference. We're talking about making this a bi-monthly thing. If we can make sure we got like a month before we actually recording, then we can actually sit with it, because all of my opinions are purely based on one listen. So correct. I can't necessarily say
and
anything.
That's not truly fair.
It's not really fair, but we're just going off. We're going to go off of what resonated on first impression.
Some of them so happen to be things I've listened to anyway. So
likewise, and so
I feel like a lot of pretty much all of my submissions were that.
No, but, not at all, because
that's true. That's
them
true. You're right.
country albums that you made
Whoa.
me suffer through.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Bro, let's get into it. I'm
So-
ready. I'm ready.
Okay, so why don't we each read off our 6 albums?
All right.
Who wants to go first?
Pull up my notes here.
I'm gonna do this with absolute the
I had a
utmost
hard
confidence.
time picking my albums.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think I could have entered, like, if I was to introduce the artist. I realized one thing in this before we start. Like, I'm more so in this era. It's hard to find whole albums to me
Mm-hmm.
that resonate. So one thing I did realize in this whole thing is that I pick out maybe 3, depending on how long the album is, maybe like 3 or 4 songs of the album that I really just listen to, and I rarely just listen to a whole album in this musical era. I'll blame it on that, but
I'm similar. I'm similar, actually. Sometimes I'm similar. Yeah.
I and personally, I pride myself on trying to find artists who do make good projects.
Right.
Because I think that's a lost art.
yeah.
To this era, because they sell music by the single and not by the album anymore. And so when you go ahead.
I think that changed the artist's way of making an album, because
Agreed.
I mean, they don't make a very cohesive, like, a lump of like, we know how, like, people like Kendrick Lamar make albums that are, they float. You really don't want to skip.
It's meant to be listened without
Exactly.
skips. Yeah.
So I think that's a
Or
good
reverse.
thing to say before we start this.
Before we start this, absolutely. And actually, I'm a retract my earlier thing. Why don't we do this? Whoever says their 6, the other 3 give their 2 that resonated. So audience, here's the thing. We all suggested 6 albums. The other 3 hosts had to listen to all 6 of everybody else's albums, and then, because of the time frame, we had to choose 2 that resonated with us most likely based off of 1 listen through.
Yeah. I'm ready to go. I'll read off.
All right,
I'll
so,
read off mine.
Cool. Let's do it. Go for it.
All right. I'm gonna read off number 1, which I know that neither of you gave a shit about. That's okay. No, you know what? I knew it. Look.
That's why I knew Aaron, how he was thinking, the form, how he formed his list, because he put the ones at the top where we may not be most familiar with.
Interested.
And that's exactly.
That's exactly what I did.
Well, what's funny is I had
exactly
listened to the second one, but that first one.
Yeah. All right. That's okay. That's okay.
But let's get into it.
Look.
So it won't be just us.
Yeah.
Because they don't know what we're talking about.
They don't know.
I have. Hold on. First, look.
At this point, we just sharing the inside.
Look, I do. It's okay. Get it out. Get it all out. Look, I say this with the utmost confidence. Here we go. I'm sure some of our listeners have heard of Maren Morris. She has an album called Hero. I think it's dope. And I'm not a huge country fan in any way, shape, or form. Like the country that I do like tends to be from female artists. I'm not like I haven't found any male country singers that actually resonated with me.
And you don't like Uncle Cracker?
Yo, okay, except that one song. My bad.
That one song.
That one song. Okay. that one song. Okay. I'm not putting him on the list, Josh. Goddamn. Yo, but that one song was dope as hell, though. That one song was solid.
Don't know why you no.
Yeah, yo, we can do this.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I got a fucking boombox in the back. We can put them on right now.
Come on, we gonna be here all day. Go through this.
All right. So I picked these for specific reasons. Maren Morris is an album that both myself and my girlfriend both like, and I have experiences with her.
What's the name of the album?
It's called Hero. She won a Grammy for it. I personally don't find it to be only country. I think it's like a mix. It's kind of like what Taylor Swift is it to me now. She's not really country. She's like pop or like
Yeah, it's like pop country.
yeah,
Pop
yeah.
country, yeah.
But
yeah, everybody wants to integrate aspects of hip hop into their music.
yeah.
Yeah, that too.
She
And
won a
pop.
Grammy for it, and I like her because I feel like she can sing, in my opinion, beyond just country. Some people can sing to a country tune, and I don't think that always means you have a good voice, in my opinion. I think she actually has a solid voice, so I'm impressed by that. I can actually listen to the whole album except for maybe one or two songs, and without skipping, and get a feeling. I have to be moved by something in some way, just like 15 years ago when I asked Adam to put Miley Cyrus on my iPod. For some reason, I remember that.
I remember that. So
Okay, I just want to tell a quick story really quick. So I put a bunch of people on, and I put Miley Cyrus somewhere in the mix. He gives me the iPod back with everything but Miley Cyrus. He thought I was joking. I'm like, have a fucking heart, okay? Have a heart. Damn.
I feel like he wasn't downloaded that. I'm not putting.
He was like,
on my
I'm not putting that on my computer.
I'm
not
like, have a
risking
heart.
prison time for this.
Like, have a heart, dog. Have a heart. Goddamn.
That's funny. I don't even remember that part, but that's funny.
All right, yeah. The second one I got is Johan Johansson, I believe. It's the score from the movie The Theory of Everything about Stephen Hawking.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good movie.
That
So wait, hold on. Okay. Are we responding now, or are we waiting until you name it?
We let them get through their list, and then we'll respond.
Okay. So you give a quick synopsis of what it is that we put on there. All right.
Oftentimes, I find new songs and new artists through scores as I'm watching a movie, and I feel moved. I actually believe I let Marcus listen to a couple of these songs on this album in a car with me one time, and I'm big into instrumentals. I am a fan of classical piano, strings, and it just moved me, man. This album was powerful for me, and I've kept it in my rotation since maybe a couple years ago, whenever the movie came out.
I just want to point out, this is how you really know hip hop raised us, because we call compositions instrumentals.
Yeah, true. Like a full.
Like we refer to orchestral compositions as instrumentals.
Yeah, like
as if like they took the verses off, so it's instrumental.
And they'll spend some hard on this. 10 minutes long.
Yo, I just want to say this. There are songs. This whole album, as a whole, feels like a rush of water to me. Is the best way I can. It's like a waterfall, like the power of water. Is how I would explain this album. I almost cried listening to this whole album the first time, bro. I won't even front. All right, number 3, Mr. Marshall Mathers.
Who the fuck passed you the mic?
It said that you could flow.
Point them out, bitch.
I want them out.
I had to revisit that. I originally had the Eminem show on because that was huge. I was influenced huge by that as a youngster. I actually used to go to bed listening to that sometimes, which is a terrible thing to do. I won't even lie, dude. I won't even lie. I was so angsty.
Woke up with a knife in your hand.
I used to vibe with him, yeah. And obviously I wasn't vibing with doing everything he said, but it was like the emotion in it that I vibe with, seriously. So, number 4, Chance the Rapper's The Big Day. This is a big one, particularly because every time, while my girlfriend and I were on our trips, particularly on the West Coast, we listened to this album, for at least a month. Every time we go to this lake in Washington that we had a ball at, we throw this on because it was just a really nice, and we sing to it and all that shit. So it has good memories, and they're quite recent. Number 5, Gnarls Barkley, The Odd Couple, one of my favorite albums. Once again, another memory. In my sophomore year of college, I listened to this album probably every single day for the entire year of between 2008 and 2009. It was a mixture of this and NERD every single day. And it's a fucking awesome album. So why wouldn't I? And the lucky number 6, Queen, the Live Killers album. I've been a fan of Queen, but I can't remember how recent that movie came out. Bohemian Rhapsody, was that like a year ago or so?
Yeah, about a year. I want to say about a year ago.
Yeah, I watched the movie and then felt inspired to revisit the discography, and I had to put this one on because I fell in love with Queen once more. So that's my 6, y'all.
Okay, who wants to go first?
We know Maren Morris ain't on there, so just go ahead and get with it.
Okay, so I guess I'll go first. For me, the 2 that probably resonate with me, I had already had a long history with The Odd Couple, and so as much as I tried to stay impartial, I already had a resonance with that. So I was really listening to see if any of the other 5 were going to hit me as well as I did, but just from time. I think the other one for me is going to be Queen. Just because I've always enjoyed Queen, and those, especially, I think recording live shows is a lost art in it as well, and it doesn't happen as much because too many singers today, and I'm throwing up quotations for our audio listeners, too many singers today can't sing live, and so they don't record. That's a whole reference.
I know.
I
just always remember that, like, he destroyed herself.
Well, I'm like,
those are the memories that make you smile.
It irritates me a bit where I hear people go like, "Oh, this is my favorite singer," and I'm like, "Yo, they can't sing." So I don't get. Well, I was in the mountainous era, as I've spoken to before, and one kid told me that their favorite singer was Kanye, and I was like, "What the fuck do you mean?"
Oh yeah, do you know that's really a thing? Like, people
that's
say,
a thing for people. Yeah,
people say that rappers are singers, like.
Because commercial rap has gotten too poppy.
But once they say that, I'm like, you really don't know hip hop
what
at all.
singers are. You don't know what hip hop is.
Singers.
to refer to all
music,
hip hop artists as singers, like,
yeah.
Okay,
that's like something like an 80-year-old person would say. It's like,
yeah.
Listen to that.
My favorite singer.
Hip hop singer.
So yeah, that Live Killers album was just it was refreshing. I hadn't revisited Queen in a while, and I did watch the movie, which was good. I haven't revisited Queen in a while, so it was refreshing to get back into it. So those were my 2.
Okay.
I'll take a shot at it. So so we're picking the 2 that resonated with us.
So Hero and Hero, right?
So Hero didn't really resonate with me. I mean, I appreciate musicians in all genres, but I guess it was just a thing of what I don't know. I wasn't feeling it like that.
It's not a frequency that you really tune into.
That is a great way to explain it. But I respect it. But I will have to choose the Johannesson.
I don't know if it's I think it's Johan. Yeah.
Okay.
Johan Johansson.
Okay. I really love Scores too.
Mm-hmm.
And
that was a runner-up for me.
I never really. I remember us listening to that in the car, but I didn't listen to the whole thing. But I love the intensity of classical music. Also, like Aaron said, like the strings, specifically the strings in the piano part, is what I'm drawn to. And in the next list, I definitely gotta put one of them that I like on there. So I will choose that one. This was the hardest list for me because Gnarls Barkley, Odd Couple is one of my favorite albums too. And also Eminem, Infinite is one of the albums that like I don't want to say oddly, but I do listen to that like more than the regular Eminem fan or whatever, because it's like super hip hop, and I appreciate that his genesis was in that, at least. Not to say that he went off course, but that hip hop was a basis of his career.
Yeah, I feel like it was organic for him. You know?
Right. And if you listen to it, he is hip hop. With that album.
Yeah, definitely.
Yo, every other line was a punchline. It was great.
So it's hard to pick with this list, but I'll go with the Theory of Everything score and the Queen. I like Queen, but for some reason it's hard for me to get into live albums like that. Although this one, they used to do live albums better, maybe, I would say. But for some reason I never prefer live albums, but I do prefer live music, which is crazy because I feel like it's something that you have to experience in person.
Yeah, I can get that.
So I'll choose the Theory of Everything score. Oh yeah, Chance. I didn't mention it. I love Chance. I don't think I really gave Chance a chance before with this album. But I was feeling it's something about when people make albums that's too long. It's just like, just take some songs out, man. Cause
too much fat, like trim that fat. It's okay, just trim that fat.
Dude, take 3 or 4 songs out and you got a good album, probably. But what's crazy about this album is that his flow is there, his witty. He is a good wordsmith. He flips words very well.
Yeah,
I agree.
Again, his flow and cadence is sometimes refreshing. His voice sometimes gets annoying, depending on the song. Because I think he's a good. I think he goes into that. Like it's like he freestyles that voice too much. And I feel like if he just go into it knowing what you want to do, instead of that, I think that will be a lot better. But
I've realized
it's hard for me to pick that because, I mean, y'all already mentioned how he mentions what he refers to too much is his relation. I mean, it's cool to hear about people being, content in their relationship.
Yeah, that's fine, but come on, we don't need 27 songs about it.
Yo, I realized I'm not this critical when I listen to music, man.
It's not even that I was trying to be critical. It's just what my ears, sonically, what I want to hear.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I feel you.
Absolutely.
I could talk about that album for a while because I like Chance.
Same. Yeah. I can
so it's just like, first of all, some like I already said it. Some of them songs, I just feel passionate about this. That some of them songs could be left out, and the fact that some of those features, it's kind of a lot of features just because of a lot of songs, but a lot of the features kind of make sense, but it's too much. It's just too much.
There was no reason to have 2 Nicki features.
I felt that way.
And that last song on the album is trash. And
we got.
I think the production was kind of fresh.
You're using this word "trash" too loosely, man. Chill, dog.
Yo,
I think
it's a horrible way to end an album. If I never heard Chance sing again, I'd be fine.
Yeah. So So we can go, I'm gonna go with the Theory of Everything score, and man, I gotta go with. I'm trying to choose between Eminem and Gnarls Barkley, but I'm just gonna say Gnarls Barkley. But is a toss up between them two.
Yeah. And we're just asking this for the sake of so we know what we're doing going forward. Are we giving feelings about everything on everybody's list, or are we just saying our two?
I don't know. I just felt I love music so much. I want to say something about them all. So.
No, I'm with you. I can. I just didn't know how concise or how elaborate we were trying to be.
I can only do that if we have a month to prepare.
So what you're saying is you didn't listen to it?
No, I did.
No, it's just
I know what you gotta kind of listen to them.
Yeah.
But we already gave that disclaimer. You know, this is pretty much one listen if we haven't heard it before. So
right.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I'm gonna just say definitely my two picks, and then if I have something to say about something else, then I will. Like if it's like something specific, you know, I'm not gonna force anything.
That's right.
Good.
So that's my turn. Let's see. So I guess for me, as far as the Maren Morris, there actually was a song there I heard before. Probably heard her song is Church. The funny thing is, I didn't know she made that song. I thought Kacey Musgraves made that song.
Yeah.
Like I'm not a country fan, but there's probably like a good 10 country songs out there that I do like. But I mean, yeah. So I'm gonna just say that, like, I do like that song Church. But
that's all I needed. That's all I needed. That's all I needed.
Let's see. Queen. They're actually one of my favorite classic rock bands. They're probably number 2 on that list after Led Zeppelin. But Queen, I'm actually gonna side with Marcus on that one. I don't really care for live albums. I honestly don't have a real reason. But because for like I'd rather just be there. Obviously, I'm not gonna be at a Queen concert, but that would be tough. But and actually, I told my wife this, that when I die, if I die before her, Don't Stop Me Now must be played at my funeral. At some point at the funeral, it doesn't matter when, but just it's got to be played. So I'm gonna be super quick here. Chance the Rapper. I mean, I think the length of the album, I think everybody's touched on that. But for me, I just didn't love the way it sounded, to be honest. Like I didn't love the production, to be quite honest. But I mean, he can rap, obviously. I think everyone knows that. But it just was for me, I guess.
I think he took a lot of risks in his production. That's why I kind of like I respect that.
I think for Eminem, I mean, obviously, I think I don't know why the album doesn't get talked about more. To be honest,
That's what I
agree though.
Too.
Yo, that's why I put it on the list. Like, it doesn't get discussed much.
Yeah,
because everybody kind of starts with Marshall Mathers.
I'm
sorry, Slim Shady LP, and that people believe that's
as far as his first album. Well, I guess because Infinite is a mixtape.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when it came out, it was. I mean,
I thought it was an EP.
Can we say that mixtapes was even?
No, he did the Slim Shady EP.
But I'm saying, isn't Infinite an EP too? It's not an LP.
Honestly, I don't know. It's enough songs to be an album, I feel like.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it's good. But as far as my two, obviously going to be the two I didn't name yet. Actually, the same as Marcus's are the Odd Couple and the Theory of Everything score. The Odd Couple, I'm not going to say it's one of my favorite albums, but when it came out, it was definitely in rotation pretty heavily. I think CeeLo is a great vocalist. I really loved Danger Mouse's production in pretty much everything he does. And I just like stuff that they talk about in that. It's like, it just really, like, there's one line from the album that just always resonated with me. And it was like, I forgot I think the song is Neighbors. And he was like, It was like my neighbor likes my clothes, but never see me with my scars
Scars
exposed,
exposed.
something like that.
Yeah,
that's
It's
it.
just
That's
like
it.
Yeah, the
I've always
songwriting
is immaculate on
is
there.
on another level.
Yeah.
Everything is on a. Is one of my honestly. That's one of my top 5 albums, like
Yo,
of all
damn.
time.
That's
Hmm.
I know it's an album that I could listen to front to back and never be disappointed
Yeah.
over and over.
actually there is one song in the album that absolutely drives me insane that I cannot listen to.
Which one's that?
I gotta pull up the track list because I forget titles of songs, but I know it when I see it. I want to say it's like number 6.
Hold on. I'm
Of course,
pulling
my service is being super
1,
slow.
2, 3, 4, 5. Open book.
Yeah,
I love
that's
that song.
I love the song.
I love that song.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Wait.
love that song, man.
Wait a minute, hold on real quick. Is that it?
I love that song.
Yeah, it's just the beat.
It's
a little.
intense.
It can be a little jarring because
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's why I can't listen to it. It's like it makes me
I love
nervous.
I love that type of production. Not constantly, but it's like I need that sometimes. Like especially with what he was talking about is like every song on there flows for me.
Yeah. For me it's just very hard to listen to. Like it makes me like nervous. It makes
I know what
me,
you're
like,
talking about. It's like
anxious.
The
Anxious.
beat is kind of,
Yeah. But it's a great album. I recommend it if you haven't heard it. And then obviously Theory of Everything. I like it because 2 reasons. One, I feel like it's something that I could edit photos to, and then kind of like I like editing photos to music. I feel like that would be great too. And secondly, I make beats occasionally, and I feel like it would be a lot of great samples in that for like the type of stuff that I make. I feel like it'd be really good to to sample actually. So yeah, those are my 2 picks.
Okay. So we got I meant to keep score too. Oh well. But
That's cool.
That's a good idea for next time.
That's 2 points for Johan, 2 points for 3 points for Gnarls Barkley, and 1 for Queen. So that makes Gnarls Barkley Aaron's strongest album of his list.
And
I'll write them down.
Classic.
I got my notebook anyway.
Cool. Appreciate it. All right, who wants to go next?
I'll go.
Cool.
All right.
Let's just do this in order. AAMS.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Yo, leave the best for last. I see.
Oh, gosh, please. I mean, I'm great, but I wasn't claiming that.
All right. So, and I'm gonna try to be short because I know we're running long here already.
A bit, yeah.
All right. So,
yo, what else is new, man? They used to us.
And this isn't in any type of order whatsoever. All right. So this isn't in any type of order. It's just thrown on there. So, number 1, I put August Green. August Green. They are what they call a supergroup, composed of Common, Robert Glasper, and Kareem Riggins, and yeah, I mean it's kind of like it is a hip hop album with a lot of jazz elements.
Jazz,
Robert Glasper. And like it came out, I want to say a couple years ago, and actually the first time I even knew of them, or the first time that they ever released anything, actually was they did a Tiny Desk concert, and it's one of my favorite Tiny Desk concerts. It's not my favorite Tiny Desk concert. So when the album came out, I had to listen to it, and it's great. I mean, Common being, I guess you could call him the lead rapper / singer,
vocals, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's Common. Yeah, Common is Common. He's rapping about, kind of the stuff he's been rapping about for 20 years. So, like you're going to get Common from the lyrics. So, then second, I put Yours Dreamily by the Arcs. That album actually consists, the bandmates are from different bands. I honestly don't remember the other bands, but I know the lead singer is Dan Auerbach of my favorite band, the Black Keys. And it's just
okay. That explains a lot.
That does explain a lot.
I guess I could have did some research on that, but I mean, I'll wait for my.
But like, for me, that album was like, I wish it was a Black Keys album. To be honest, like I really do, because it sounds like a Black Keys album, but a little bit, and it's just the stuff that they talk about is interesting. I'm not gonna get into detail. Just listen to it. Like, there's one song I always talk about. This one song, and it's called "Flower in Your Pocket." And I would say for the first like year, I feel like I didn't really know what the song was about. And then I just one day it just hit me. I feel like this song is about selling weed. And to this day, I honestly don't know if that's actually true or not, but I feel like it is. And it's just interesting because you don't really hear a lot of rock bands talk about that subject matter. So it's just interesting to me that, what they talk about. And it's like it's a really interesting rock album. But it's not like, for people that are listening who, like, when I say rock, I don't mean like rock like Def Leppard or anything. It's like alternative rock with a little bit of blues elements in there, a little bit, some songs. So yeah, that's that.
Kind of grungy garage band type.
Yeah. It's just really. Also, the background singers, just for like a G-Wiz information, the background singers, the female vocals you're hearing there, is actually a all-female mariachi band, actually.
Wow. Okay.
I forgot what their name was. They actually have a Tiny Desk concert too. I think they do. I might be making that up. I might be thinking of the Arcs Tiny Desk concert in which they were there. That might be what I'm thinking of. All right, number 3. Number 3 is one of my favorite bands, Alabama Shakes. The album is called Sound and Color. That's their second studio album, which I believe they won about 3 Grammys for. Not the album necessarily, but songs within the album and best blah blah blah. It's also like a alternative rock. It's heavily blues influence. I mean, they're from Deep South, so again with them, I really like the lead singer, Brittany Howard. She's a really good guitarist and really good songwriter. It's just a good mix of musicians, and it's just really good. And I've seen them live twice. Actually, the first time I saw them, I was interested in them, but I hadn't become a fan yet. The second time I saw them, I was an absolute fan, and it was amazing. So, then number 4 on that list is the Black Keys, which I already mentioned something about them earlier. The name of the album is Magic Potion, which again is a bluesy rock type of album. I want to say this was like, for them, this was like in their earlier years. And one funny thing about their music is it seems like their music, they sound younger the older that they get, which is weird. Because I feel like if you popped on their first album, it sounds like legitimately like these 50-year-old men playing music. It
seemed like they aged a lot, like visually, they aged a lot since when they came out. Yeah, because I saw them on the Joe Rogan podcast, and I was just like, "Dang, these dudes!"
Oh, that's really cool that they're on there.
Especially Patrick Carney, the drummer.
I gotta watch that.
The drummer, he looking kind of rough. Yeah, Patrick Carney.
Yeah, the success got to him.
Magic Potion, though, honestly, the reason why I like that album so much is it just sounds good to me. It just really sounds great. Like the subject matter is okay, to be honest, but it just sounds really good to me. Just the riffs are amazing. And like the fact I like that it's only 2 members of the band. So there's a guitarist / singer and a drummer. That's it. And I love that it's really stripped down sound. and like I said, this is their older stuff. In their later music, there's bassists, but I'm pretty sure the lead guitarist or the guitarist is writing those bass lines, and then they would just have like a studio musician come and play it. But it's still from two people. So, were you about to say something, Marcus?
Yeah. I don't know if I would just want to save this for my review part, but they with that album, because I have that album, and they were saying how that when they recorded this album, they were in a basement or whatever, and all of the sounds they recorded, they really didn't master, and they didn't have they didn't master the bass. They didn't really add a true bass to the whole album.
Okay.
I remember them saying that.
Yeah, their first stuff, like, I mean, this is a part of their. I want to say it's like maybe like their third or fourth album. I could be wrong. They have like 8 or 9 of them, but this is like their third or fourth. And it sounds better quality than their first album. Their first album legitimately sounds like they recorded it like on like Zoom or something. Like, but it's still I like that rough. It's kind of like the Wu-Tang sound, like the roughness. That's kind of how they kind of that's what they remind me of. So that's 4. I said I was gonna be quick. Number 5 is Khruangbin, the band I've mentioned probably a lot on this podcast. The name of the album is Con Todo El Mundo, which is Spanish for with the world, or with the whole world, something like that.
Yeah, with the world, with the whole world, with the entire world, something like that.
Yeah, and so for that, it's
ridiculous.
It's named like that. Yeah, it's named like that because from my understanding, I'm not like, I don't know everything about this band, but from my understanding, the bassist, her she has some type of Hispanic roots, whatever, and it's supposed to be like a dedication to her grandmother. I think I heard that somewhere. So that's all I know about that. But this album is probably one of my favorite albums ever. Definitely in my top 10. The song Maria Tambien is probably one of my favorite songs in a very long time. It's just, I play that song. I probably played it yesterday. I listen to that album a lot, and that song particularly even more than the whole album. But they are, for the most part, a lyricless band. They have a few songs with lyrics on them. But I just like I don't even know how I stumbled upon them. Actually, no, I do. Tiny Desk. Actually, I was just stumbling and I saw them on Tiny Desk. Like, oh, this isn't. Actually, I didn't even click on them. They just auto played from something else I was listening to. And as soon as the riff for Maria Tambien starts, like, I gotta listen to this because this sounds amazing. Then I've been hooked ever since. So they just have some really cool sounds. From my understanding, they gear their sounds based off world music. So you can hear a lot of different influence from different parts of the world in their music. There's actually an interview on YouTube about where there's an interview on YouTube where the lead guitarist is saying like where kind of what parts of the world their sound comes from. Their name is Thai. So then you can hear a lot of like Thai funk from like the 70s in their music. Yeah, if I had to recommend anybody out of these 6 albums, it would be Khruangbin. They actually have an album coming out June 26th, so look for it. And my last but not least is Bobby Fino. Football fans may know him as Arian Foster. Yeah, he surprised me with this one because I didn't know he could rap. I didn't know he had any interest in rapping. And that might be why I'm impressed. I don't know. It could be because it's really that good. But
he was a dope running back too.
Yeah. So like, it's called. Yeah, I need to give the name. So the name of the album is called Flamingo in Kovo, which I'm pretty sure is like 2 streets. Like,
it's a cross street from where he's from.
Yeah. So Subject matter is, I mean, it's kind of like, I guess it's his experience. So I mean, it's not really talking about the typical hip hop elements of. I'm not saying all hip hop, but a lot of popular rap is unfortunately about drugs, killing women, etc. I mean, his subject matter isn't that. So it's just a nice, fresh take, and I really like it. The production is really good. Yeah, and I think like I said, I think for me the album I was just more surprised, and I don't want to say it's good because I was surprised, but I just think it's really good. So those are my 6. Sorry I took so long.
It's all good.
So good.
Got to get a reason to give reasons for people to care. You don't be like,
Yeah.
so I got August Green, I got the Arcs, I got Alabama Shakes, and cool. Like give reasons as to why you put it in there.
Because if you see August Green, most people not gonna know.
That's even a group.
Those are actually people you probably know.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like, I was talking to my guy August the other day.
Yeah, it literally sounds like a first and last name.
Yeah,
I have a singer songwriter. To be honest,
I had no clue. Yeah, I was under that impression.
So I'll go first.
Okay.
Unless you want to, Aaron.
I'll be quick.
Go for it.
All of my picks descriptions will be quick because I just want to say that. I chose August Green as my first one. I'm just a sucker for Common, man. And the fact that like him and Robert Glasper, whatever, like I like the idea of him and Robert Glasper together. I wasn't familiar with the other guy, actually.
Yeah. The drummer, Kareem Riggins.
Yeah.
Me neither, to be honest.
So the background of this all is that, they've worked together for a long time. Remember the era, I would say like early 2000s, where it was like a neo soul type of, within that community, it was Erykah Badu, Belial,
the Native Tongues.
The Native Tongues, all them people.
D'Angelo.
Yeah. So, they work together quite often. And I heard, I guess I was listening to Talib Kweli podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
It's a
People's
great
Party
podcast.
Yeah.
People's Party.
I like that a lot. And he was just talking to Robert Glasper about that era and who all, how they lived close together and they were good friends and all that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a pretty cool history about that, because that certain sound comes from an era. Any movements or certain sounds come from an era where these artists are in close proximation and they work frequently together and develop their own sound, just like the jazz, what do you call it, Enlightenment, and that whole era,
Renaissance,
the Renaissance era, like all of that it comes from
Renaissance?
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, showing that example of how those movements come from a centralized area.
Yeah,
people who work together frequently. So I think that's pretty cool that was born out of that collaboration.
All right, man. Let me be quick with my descriptions. So the August Green. I mean, from the very first song, you could probably say I was hooked. I got to be moved by something, and I was moved from the very first song. I could probably say this whole album moved me, and it's just a feeling that I know, and like it's a feeling, and then sometimes other things happen where I'm liking a song to the point where I start like imagining myself on stage singing it to other people. That's how I know it's like, yo, like that's how I know. All right, I'm really in. And particularly, so this whole album was like uplifting, and it just resonated and hit a nerve with me in that regard. I love that. And particularly the song Optimistic. I didn't know that I needed Brandy in my life the way I did. Yeah. When I heard that Optimistic song, I knew she was like, I knew I liked her, but it was good to hear her.
Now she was singing I vaguely remember the song, but I remember enjoying it. She was singing like a hook that was from an old song. I kind of
Yeah,
forget.
that's a cover. It's
Yeah,
a cover
but
of a.
I don't remember what it was.
Well, it's called the same thing. It's called
Optimistic.
thing. Optimistic by Sounds of Blackness is the original
Right. Okay.
artist.
Um,
I didn't know
So-
that at first, but yeah.
When I was listening to it, I'm like, because that happened a lot in music where they take elements, which is cool, but
Yeah, so the first one was the August Green, and the second one was Krongbin. That was my second choice, and I chose that album Con Todo El Mundo. I believe I said it right. I think it moved me once again. I have to. It hit that same. It resonated with me. It moved me, and particularly that same song, Maria Tambien, was the one that was probably my favorite song as well.
Yeah.
I think the song is incredible. With the album as a whole, it made me feel. It reminded me of other albums when I felt good in moments of listening to it. Particularly to this guy named Tommy Guerrero. He's a beat, and I have his album Return of the Bastard and Soul Food Tequila, and it's just a smooth. It just feels good, man. I feel like I could put that on in almost any occasion actually, and vibe out. So I loved that same smooth, cohesive aspect of this whole project. But once again, Maria Tambien was probably my favorite joint as well. And those are my two.
Cool.
Josh, I think you was going out, second.
Josh,
Yeah, I'm trying to go. I keep cutting out because my internet keeps being stupid.
We hear you though.
Cool. So mine are gonna actually be identical to Aaron's. For whatever reason, I never did listen to the August Green project. It was like it's just I've had it for forever and just never got around to it. So I'm glad this was the means of doing it. And so it's just a great experience of a project. Like sonically, it just feels good. The creative genius. The creative genius of Robert Glasper and Lonnie are it's honestly, I haven't heard, to keep it a whole buck, I haven't heard a project from Common that's been that strong in a good minute.
Yeah,
and so I don't want to just be like, well, Rob brought that out of him, but I do think it's a thing of when you get to collaborate with certain energies, it can give you the best product, even better. And so,
hey Josh, can I just you actually reminded me of something that I forgot to say. I'm sorry. Can I just say one quick thing and I'll
go for it.
You be. This album made me feel. The August Green album made me feel like the song "Glory" with John Legend and Common. The whole album gave me that glory feel, like when they were on the stage at the Grammys or the Oscars. I'm sorry, and performing that, it just felt uplifting like that. It gave me that glory feel throughout the whole album, man. And you just reminded me of that.
Word. And so I felt really good with the August Green album, and I checked out the Krongbin when Adam first brought it up. Once I finally learned how to spell it.
Yeah, that's the major barrier with that.
That is the major barrier.
Because once you get past that, bro,
it's
I'm gonna let you finish. But
that Krongbin album is a beautiful frequency to tune into, and so those are the two that off of first listen just resonated with me most. I had never heard the Arcs before. I did hear Black Keys once back in the day, but can't say that I listened to them that frequently. But do respect Black Keys majorly. And Alabama Shakes I had actually never really listened to, so it was good to finally just get those in my ear. My opposition comes with Bobby Fino. While I think the production was decent, the lyricism was not my cup of juice. And so that's the only thing I probably didn't necessarily enjoy that much, but everything else in the list was this was a strong list. And so,
Nice.
August Green and Khruangbin, my two. On to you, Marco.
So August Green, I had heard some of it before, but I didn't listen to the whole project. But it is refreshing, especially like Josh said, like Common. I guess we could say he has ups and downs, even though he's kind of steady. But I feel what you're saying.
Yeah.
So I think the musicality of it all makes you raise your level because I don't think nobody could have came weak on this.
No, not at all.
And if you did, I don't think they would have done it. but it was a good album. Good album. I like the sounds. I think overall, like, we're in an era where, not that it wasn't in the past, but jazz is always been a big part of hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
But this is more pure in the fact that there's not just samples, is real music, and is just refreshing. So I like that. The arcs. So I listened to this without actually researching them, and when I listened to them, all I could hear is Black Keys, which is a good thing. But a little more. One criticism I could have about the Black Keys is sometimes their album sounds the same. Not from the next album to album, but their particular album, the songs on there sound the same. Like Black Potion, because I have that album. I enjoyed a lot.
Potion.
Oh yeah. Magic Potion, I enjoyed a lot. But that album, a lot of their songs sound the same. So I did really enjoy the arcs too. Alabama Shakes, Sound and Color. I really appreciate that they found a way to make rock music, and a lot of people will probably consider it not to be rock music, but I do. They like super incorporated bass lines and R&B elements and a lot of different elements to their music, but to me it's still rock, which is very dope. I'm not as a big a fan with the lead singer as I hear people. For some reason, it's just I like her soulful vibe.
Mm-hmm.
It just, I don't want to say it seems forceful, which if it was another word that I could use there, it just seems like again, the music is good. It's just something is holding me back to be a total fan of them. I don't know. I really enjoyed the combination of sounds though, and I can listen to it again. I don't dislike them. I'm just not a bigger fan as other people, or not other people. I like read the comments too. Like, people really enjoyed her sound, but that her sound is, I guess I'll put it like this: her sound is not what makes them amazing and over the top to me. I think she could be replaced, although I don't think she should be. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I can't explain it fully.
You're saying in their composition, she's expendable.
I feel like obviously they wouldn't be able to be called that because they. I wouldn't say expendable. I just think she is not what makes that band dope. Even though that voice people may not hear too much, especially in rock music, because they're not exposed to soul too often. Yeah. So, okay. I already talked about Black Keys, Magic Potion. I enjoy that album, although I think that some of the songs are somewhat repetitive sonically. Which brings me to Con Todo El Mundo. This album is super dope, man. Like, they funky. They funky with it.
They're funky with it.
They funky with it, man. They super dope. Bobby Fino. I actually didn't get to listen to the complete thing, to tell you the truth, but I used to watch his podcast when it first came out, and I've heard a few of his songs, and I respect him. I like him, and I think he's on to something. But I mean, it's his first album. I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm just saying that, like, like Adam said, like, for him to go from a running back elite at that, like, to get into music, and you see, if you watch his podcast, all of the things he's actually into, it's just pretty cool to see that transition. So I will pick Khruangbin, which I'm definitely gonna have to add that to my. I mean, all of this stuff I've already added, but I'm gonna add this to my heavy rotation, man, because it's just a mood, is a vibe there that needs to be vibed. And I'll go with vibe. It's hard to pick between the August Green and the Arcs, but I'll go with the Arcs. Those are my two.
So you said Khruangbin and the Arcs?
Yes, sir. I really like that Black Keys sound.
Yeah.
And I think they took it to a different place, which I appreciate a little more. So I'll go with them too.
Thanks. Well, that means that the best two were, or the best one of mine was Khruangbin with 3, August Green with 2, and the Arcs with 1.
Okay, so yo, thank you for joining us for the first half of the Audio Files Volume 1. Today we evaluated Aaron and Adam's list, and I'm sure you might have heard or probably heard of something that you enjoyed already, or heard of something that you didn't hear. But we're open to suggestions, so send them. If by all means, for future episodes, we're only going to do 4 because 6 was fucking long. We all love music. We all love music, but it was a lot, especially because we only had like a week. But we planned better for future reference, and so we're doing 4 going forward, as far as we know. And so, by all means, send us something that you feel very passionately about, something that resonates with your frequency, and let us check it out. We may even put it in a competition where, if we get enough responses, we'll all pick an album that was sent in and pit them against each other, try to argue the case of how it's great. Yeah, just let us know. Come on, email it to, the email address if you've been listening, and if you haven't, just in case. InforMILLyHonestPodcast@gmail.com. Peace.
Peace.
Trust coexist.